I want you to be free. I want us to be a self-governing people, not having to ask the white man or anybody for anything. All normal, healthy human beings want to be self-governing and self-determining. I want to have a black power. I want to have a black government. When I say black power, I'm talking about black freedom. I'm talking about big lip freedom. I'm talking about broad nose freedom. I'm talking about nappy hair freedom. I'm talking about boombox on your shoulder freedom. I'm talking about black freedom, freedom on our own terms. I'm saying that we don't have to act like nobody else in order to be free.
For 40 years, our party, led by Chairman Omali Shatella, has led the movement to complete the Black Revolution of the 60s.
We talk about solutions, about what it takes to make revolution. And we talk about the centrality of the African Revolution for that. We talk about how what the party, the African People's Socialist Party, is doing now is a modern version of what Marcus Garvey struggled to accomplish, to actually struggle to unite and liberate African people worldwide.
Our party defined that African people, wherever we are located, in the U.S., in Africa, and around the world, bear the brunt of U.S. war against our people.
And that's what the struggle is about. It's about power. And so this became an important aspect of the counterinsurgency. It was drugs. And then it became this neo-colonialism, this white power in blackface that dominates our community everywhere. And so since the 1960s, since our founding in 1972, the task of our movement, our party, has been to try and rebuild the revolution, to bring the masses of African people back into political life. Do you understand? Because that is the essential character of a revolutionary period.
When you have most of the people in Africa don't have access to food, don't have access to hospitals, just basic health care, don't have access to school, stuff like that, you're talking of war.
Bana mulele, bana bukaka, bana kimbanka, na botamina tuku sambu, na koli na tuku mwambe, na komelenge na tuku libwa, na koto mibale na longo likimbwa, bukokwe kotelinga na sali banka.
The theory of African internationalism shows that capitalism was built at the expense of African people.
These resources are not the birthright of white imperialism. These resources are the birthright of African people around the world. We have a responsibility to take Africa back for African people.
When they touch one of us, no matter where he is in this world, they touch all. They touch one in Ethiopia, they touch all. They touch one in the Congo, they touch all. But that's what we're working for, brothers and sisters. That's what we're building. But brothers and sisters, you know, we wanted to have this panel discussion tonight to talk about wars, what's happening to African people, and wars happening all over Africa, man. Wherever African people are, we suffering. Suffering.
Our party has organized African people around the world into the African Socialist International.
Imperialism will always stand for compromise, or always stand for neocolonialism, but the masses will have nothing to do in such compromise. So we say revolution, revolution, but that revolution has to be a worldwide African revolution. You want to unite the whole African world to unite what's happening in the Congo and develop our consciousness to one Africa, one revolution. It might happen in the Congo right now. Let's make it happen in the Congo. Right? All of us are part of it. Wherever we are part of the same revolution.
Our party built the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement in 1991 for the purpose of bringing the masses of African people back into revolutionary political life. We believe that self-determination is the highest expression of democracy. We struggle for community control of housing, police, education, healthcare, and other critical democratic issues. We also intervene in the electoral process. Recently, in 2011, the party ran myself, president of NPW, for mayor of Philadelphia.
Hey, sister, how you doing, sis? Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Diop Olugbala, president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, is running as an independent under his legal name, Wally Rahman.
On a platform calling for economic development for our communities as opposed to police containment. If you
mwana Congo makila nangeza Equateur na yaba Congo basimbisanga lipangola na mbotama motulu nangaba kundana wenza bayaka nakola na malemba bongo na bandundu molimo na lisalami kana elo na kuzu soki na kwei banguna bakobota maseke morangi ya pembe na mesana koni ata basende toko apo na ekolo po na Congo mingi bakanisa kido sala maseke.
One of the things that APSP works to do is to develop African community power that negates or makes unnecessary the role that the state plays in the lives of African people in the state. So that's what we're involved in doing, developing projects that create dual power, contending power, in the hands of the African community.
APSP has partnered with nurse midwife Mary Koroma, who has organized more than 150 traditional birth attendants, or TBAs, that span the countryside. Since the establishment of her country clinic in 2007, she has been instrumental in saving the lives of many women and ushering into life healthy babies.
We recognize that APSC, an organization of white people, was formed by the African People's Socialist Party based on the understanding that this system was built on the enslavement of African people, on the theft of African resources, labor, and land, and on the genocide of the indigenous people and the theft of their land, and on colonialism.
Our party continues the legacy of Marcus Garvey, who led a movement of millions of African people around the world.
Garvey had the only movement that succeeded in uniting African people around the world to make this revolution of Africans around the world. Not a lot of different damn organizations, one organization with one politic, one theory, one philosophy. And the other thing about Garvey's movement that made it significant was it was rooted in the African working class. But I'm going to tell you, that's the revolution I'm trying to make. Because those are the people who made every so-called revolution that's happened in Africa has been made by the peasants and the workers. That was always the backbone, and yet they're the ones who always lost out after the so-called revolution was over.
Throughout our entire history, our party has built institutions of self-determination in our quest for dual and contending state power. Recently, our party has launched the Black Star Industries. We have built the African People's Education and Defense Fund with Uhuru Furniture Stores, Uhuru Houses, and the Tyrone Lewis Community Gym. Through the African People's Solidarity Committee, we built Uhuru Foods and Uhuru Holiday Pies. Our party has published numerous of books and pamphlets that expose the theory of Chairman Omali Ishitela. We have built Uhuru News and Uhuru Radio, reaching thousands of African people all over the planet. In the summer of 2011, our party built the St. Pete Freedom Summer Project, continuing the legacy of Freedom Summer of 1964 and the 1984 Oakland Summer Project.
The Oakland Freedom Summer Project is a campaign we're going to initiate to bring the Uhuru House back to revolutionary political life and to bring black power back to the center stage in the city of Oakland. In the Oakland Summer Project, we're going to be transforming the Uhuru House into a modern, cutting-edge community center, which will include a community kitchen, the Uhuru Jiko Kitchen, as well as a community garden out back. And we will also be taking on numerous political struggles and campaigns to bring the masses into political work here in East Oakland and throughout the city.
In 2011, the African Socialist International has become stronger than ever, growing throughout Europe, Africa, Colombia, and the Caribbean.
You can't free Africa as separate entities. It is impossible. Impossible. That's opportunism. Anyone who comes to say Gabon first, Congo first, that's opportunism. Because right now in the Congo, with 9 borders, Every border around Congo is an imperialist border. If revolution rises up in Congo, it will attack from the 9, it will be attacked from all those 9 borders. That's the reality. That's why you need the revolution in the Congo, the struggle in the Congo to be united with the struggle in Rwanda, Burundi, all 9 borders. So your back is safe because it's the same as you. Same trajectory, same objective, same goals. Build one Africa and one nation.
Because we organize in London, we organize in France, because we say this. If Congo burns, then we must be able to organize to make sure that Britain burns, to make sure that France burns, to make sure that America burns, to make sure that Australia burns, to make sure that USA burns. So we know that we cannot defeat them as Congolese, but we can defeat them as Africans. We have to get organized.
One nation. We want to see to it that in Africa, we Africans, we unite. As we have to unite. These white people have to purify us. We need to unite.
Everything that is here in Africa that we create riches for us. The diamonds, the gold, the bauxite, the cocoa, the oil, everything that is here in Africa is taken out of Africa by the United States, by Europe, and taken into those countries and feed those people in those countries. White people, it doesn't feed Africans.
These people have been taking our resources and our minerals in the diaspora. They have developed their own countries. Now we are suffering in Africa. So we want to see to it that we regain that and we see to it that we develop our continent as a whole.
The only way that we are going to be able to reclaim our resources and to live a better life is that we have to free Africa.
And we have to get rid of these borders that separate us and keep our resources, keep us from our resources. And we have to be able to recognize that whether you live in Haiti or Florida, whether you live in London or Angola, whether you live in Canada or France, if you're one of us, you're Africa. And more than that, if you touch one, touch all. If you touch one, touch all.
Touch one, touch all. Touch one, touch all. Hands at the Congo. Touch one, touch all. Kingston to Cape Town. Touch one, touch all. House niggas stay